is it usually just the first Saturday after June the 19th? Is that how it normally?
Yes, it's usually that third weekend, whatever they call it, that third weekend. It's the Saturday before Father's Day.
Unfortunately, the holiday is on the weekend, so nobody gets a day off from work.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
That wasn't planned well.
No.
Now, the Juneteenth situation, and for people who've never seen this parade, I mean, it is a sight, right? I mean, right there, this is kind of what brought us to this show. This is a neighborhood event, right?
Yes,
I mean,
it is. Yes,
it runs right through what the heart of what you would call North Tyler.
North Tyler, correct.
You know, people eat, people congregate, people visit. It's very friendly because y'all just kind of organized something that started at St. Louis Park where people brought their own food.
But most of it, we started out, we did it ourselves. The different clubs and organizations will buy the food and we serve it at the park.
Welcome to another episode of East Texas Unfiltered. I'm your host, J. Chad Parker. Today we've got a guest with us that's very interesting. She's going to talk about a parade that many of you have probably never heard of, and certainly most of you have never seen. We're going to do our best to explain to you what it is, why it happens, where it all comes from, and what it looks like. It's a part of our city. It's an important celebration each year. Rosie, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Now, Miss Bowie, as they call you, right?
Yes.
Miss Bowie is currently a substitute teacher.
Yes, I am.
Did you teach previous, or were you a nurse prior?
No.
Tell me what you were.
I always wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't go to college for that. I went for a social worker.
All right.
So that's what I'm a retired licensed social worker.
And the social work that you did, was it for some organization like CPS, or what was it for? How did it work?
It was for the Northeast Texas Public Health District. I worked for the state and the federal with individuals and community and families.
College, I guess you had to get a college degree to have this kind of profession?
Yes.
Anything beyond just college? Some people have graduate degrees and all this for social work. Did you have any of that?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree from Stephen F. Austin State University.
What year was that?
I graduated in 2002.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, that says that you actually went back and you were dedicated to getting your education, right?
Correct. You're correct. Yes.
What did you do for a living before getting that degree?
Before I received that degree, I was employed for the General Electric Company back in 72. I'm sorry. It was 72. And I injured both hands during my employment there.
Were you on a line somewhere?
Yes, I worked on the line, used air gun. The air gun wasn't built properly, and it twisted my wrists, and it continued carpal tunnel in both hands. And I continued to have several surgeries on both hands in Dallas, Texas. And the doctor said I couldn't do that kind of work anymore. So then I decided to go back to school through TRC, Texas Rehab. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, they helped you, right?
Yes.
Find out if there was grants, stuff to make it financially possible to go to college.
Exactly. And the train air conditioning company did also.
Okay.
Yeah. They said I was the first employee that had ever gone attend college and graduated and went back to work. Most people, when they're on disability, they don't go back to work. I look for something to do. That wasn't my, I didn't want to do that. I want to do something. I want to help people. Right. I want to be active in the community.
And that's a good point. You know, there is this thought that a lot of people seek to get on disability with no intention of ever returning to the workforce.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And you went and got retrained and actually got a college degree and went to work as a social worker when?
That was in 2002.
All right. And
it is recent. I was hired when I graduated.
Did you retire from this at some point?
Yes, I did. Huh. I retired in 20. Did
COVID push you?
12 or 14. No. It was about 2014, I believe. 2012.
All right. And then, I don't know if you retired, you went to Social Security, and then, I don't know how you planned that out afterwards, but.
I retired from that position for social work, and I didn't work for about a year. Just said I'm going to take off and just travel and do a few things with my class of 68 on Emmett Scott. And then I decided I wanted to go back to work and sub, and that's what I did. I returned to TISD sub, and I've been a sub now for about 14 years.
Now, you mentioned Emmett Scott, and for people who aren't from Tyler or they're very young, they won't understand what Emmett Scott was. You graduated in 1968?
Correct.
Tell everybody what Emmett Scott High School was.
Emmett Scott High School was an all-black school. It was not integrated. Of course, we didn't integrate here in TISD to 1970, but that was an excellent school. We learned. We received books and desks from other schools, from white school. That's what we received most of them. But our teachers that we had were excellent, and they taught us. The pages that were missing out of those books, they put it in for, they could teach us. So we all learned. So we have doctors, attorneys, nurses. A lot of people came from that school. We still learn. We may not didn't have all the material that we should have had, but we learned.
Right, and what you're mentioning for the history majors out there, or for the people that don't know history, is that there were Supreme Court rulings that one started off Plessy versus Ferguson, which was separate but equal.
Yes.
Right? That was the language used by our Supreme Court, where the schools remained separate, but it was indicated that they would be equal. And this is how there happened to be, or was, a black high school, right?
That's correct.
And did you grow up your entire school system going only to school with other black children, African-American children?
No, not any other. I was raised in Flint, Texas.
Okay.
I was born here in Tyler, but my father was killed in a car wreck in 1957. My mother raised 7 children by herself alone. I think 4 or 5 of us attend college. And she never did remarry. And she, at that time when my father was killed in the car wreck, the youngest child was 6 and the oldest was 10.
So there was
5 boys and 2 girls.
So there was a lot of kids between 6 and 10.
Yes.
Your mother had a huge responsibility.
10 months old. 10 month old. She had a 6 month old. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was 6 month old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was still a lot of kids in there, right?
7.
Now, I was going to ask you this, but you answered it. I was going to say, were you the first person in your family to get a college degree, or did you have other siblings that went on and got degrees?
I was the second one.
You were the second one.
Yeah, the other ones are 10, but they didn't graduate because my brother, when you retired from college, from the military, he did some schooling, and then another brother went to some schooling, but they didn't graduate college.
Well, you've mentioned a few things about your family in earlier life, so I'd like us to circle back and kind of get a feel for this. You said you were born in Tyler, Texas.
Yes.
Do you remember what hospital?
Midwife.
Okay.
I can't think her name was Rose something.
But I mean, it was a midwife.
A midwife, yes.
And is there any particular reason, like some people that were born and raised here say, well, I was born at Mother Francis, right? Like,
yes.
I mean,
yes.
That type of thing. Was it available to you at the time, or was it just what your mother did?
I had never asked that question. I don't know whether it was available or not. But most of the babies that were delivered in those times was by midwives. And I don't know if that's a custom of her family doing that, our family.
But when you say those children, are you talking about black children and people that you're aware of?
Yes.
There was people trained that were midwives?
Yes, yes.
I mean, because that seems like, that'd be scary nowadays.
I know.
But a lot of people did it.
Yeah, midwives were some family members from what I could hear. Some were family members that were midwives.
Well, now,
and I'm sure we could go to the hospital, but I don't know why I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I was just curious, as a historian type, like,
Okay.
Back in, what year were you born?
1950.
Okay, so I'm thinking 1950, Smith County, Texas, can everybody just go to the hospital and say, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm about to have a baby, or is it something your mother just never contemplated because she'd always taken care of it, outside of a healthcare system?
I am thinking I was the third child. The other one, I think, was born in hospital.
Okay. Obviously, people that are as old as we are, or, know that there was certainly an evolution in social policy and, reducing prejudice and discrimination as time went on that made things available that were not available previously.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes, correct. Because I know when we went to the doctor's office, we had sit in a certain area behind a curtain with wooden seats, wasn't comfortable. And we see the doctor after they've seen everybody else. And when we had to take those shots and everything, everything, we had to go down to the health department and stand outside in a long line in the rain or cold, waiting to get in to get vaccinated, shots.
Are you talking about the polio
The
vaccination?
polio vaccination, yes, sir.
Because I believe the polio vaccination was, I think, 1954 or 56. I'm not sure. I think the guy's name was Salk, and I think he was an African American.
That's correct.
Most people at that point kind of goes over their head. Like, the person who actually invented the polio vaccination was African American.
Yes.
And the irony would be that, that you guys would have to, go somewhere and wait around to get the vaccination, right?
Exactly.
But I know, and that's what I've always admired about a lot of people that I've known that were older here in Tyler, is that many people who had every reason to be bitter and look back and be angry at the things that they experienced didn't seem to really have that bitterness. And you seem like kind of one of those people. Do you feel that way?
Yes.
I mean,
because taking those shots, they came to the schools. We took them at the school, and they came to the churches also, the black churches.
Because, back then people were seriously concerned about polio.
Yes, very much so.
Some people wouldn't be affected, but others might end up paralyzed.
Correct.
Right? There was a wide range of symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're born in 1950. You say your father was killed in 57.
Correct.
So during this 50 to 57, you guys are living out there in Flint, Texas somewhere?
No.
All right.
We did not move to Flint, Texas till after my father was killed. My mother bought a home and property in Flint and had a house built to raise all us in.
Before she did that, where did you guys live?
We lived in the Butler College area.
Okay, part of what people would call North Tyler?
No.
That
was West Tyler.
Okay, Butler College. Give us an indication for the people who are listening that don't know the difference of where, the graveyard is versus Butler College versus,
Yes, we lived over Hurt Street. You know where WAP is? That area over in there, that's where we live. WAP Elementary School. Yes.
Okay.
There were some apartments over there that we lived in.
And you lived there, mom, dad, everybody?
Yeah, my daddy worked in Dallas.
Okay.
He was killed coming from Dallas in a car wreck by himself. I think they say went to sleep.
What did he do in Dallas? Did you ever know?
I think my mother said he worked at a spice place or something, made some kind of spices or something.
I just didn't know if he traveled for better pay or better employment.
He was. He did.
Than there was available around Tyler in the 1950s.
Yeah. That's the reason he worked. He had a very good job, paid well, from what she told her. And she just recently died in 23 at 98.
Your mother?
Yes.
Wow.
And see, my father was 33 and she was 32 when he passed, when he was killed.
You say your mom somehow she had money, saved money, got money in order to buy a house in Flint?
Well, she received the money from his benefits from his death. He was insured well.
That's what I was about to ask. Was there some lawsuit, insurance benefit, or something?
I don't think it was a lawsuit. It was insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was certainly fortunate for you guys and responsible on his part to have that, wouldn't you say?
Exactly.
Because he could have left y'all in a bad way.
She could have. You're correct.
Because the first thing you need is a place to live in order to get a start to go do anything, right?
Exactly.
How long did you live out there at Flint with your mother and family?
All my life till I was grown.
Really, the whole time?
The whole time. After we left Tyler, here in the Butler College area.
That's what I mean.
When we moved down in the area in Flint. She had the home built down there.
57, somewhere around
57, correct.
All right, so you're over there, your mom, your siblings. Describe the place. For us that are, we're trying to go time traveling, right? We're going back. It's 57, 58. What does it look like out there, and where are you living?
Okay, we lived on Old Lake Palestine Road. The house that was built, after time, it started deteriorating, so that was torn down, and she had another house moved in. But the property and everything is still there. And when we first moved down there, we was going to the wrong school. We was going to White House School.
That's a long way away.
Yeah, and we was in Tyler District, but we wasn't aware of that.
And Bullard wasn't built then, was it?
Bullard was there.
That was
school? Too far down. Yes, Bullard was there.
Okay.
Yeah, but we was going to Stanton High School. And that was in the White House District. And we was informed that we was attending the wrong school, so he moved all us from that area in Flint to Tyler School. We was in Tyler District.
All right. Now, and the Tyler district, so we don't get confused, was to an all-black district.
Correct.
Right? I mean, when we say that, I mean, the school systems were segregated completely when you grew up.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
you never went to school with a person that was white, Hispanic, or anybody else, right?
No, I never did. So I went to college.
All right. When you think back on it, because I'm trying to, okay, you're born in 50, you're 10 in 60, you're 18 in 68, okay? I'm just trying to, let's frame this for the viewer, right? Because this is one of the most interesting and worst periods of history in the United States, right?
Yes.
I mean, the Vietnam War gets kind of bubbling up. President Kennedy gets killed in November of 1933. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I mean, do you remember President Kennedy being an advocate for African Americans back then and your mom talking about it? I mean, or was it even discussed?
Yeah, we watched it. Yes, very much so. And in school, we was taught. Yes.
Because, I mean, you think about it. You're hearing the first conversations of, fairness, equity, integration, and this is only 63 when he gets killed, right?
That's right, 63.
As you said, it's not till 1970 till the schools integrate.
That's correct.
So, I mean, you're watching TV, you're hearing the president talk, and then you see him get killed. I mean, give us some sense as to what you were thinking and how you felt like that might affect progress for Black people at that point.
Yeah, I know I was downhearted about it because we know that he was trying to help us, pull us up, make better life for the Blacks. And it hurt us. But at that time, I was just a teenager, though.
Right. I mean,
yes.
you still, you weren't thinking about national politics. You were thinking about, going to school, running around with friends, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, was it a happy period for it, or do you look back on it and do you remember, what do you remember about your time period up to graduating from Emmett Scott in 1968? Anything particular? And what I mean by that, I don't mean to put you on the spot like that. I mean, you had friends. I'm assuming you were happy in the environment that you were in, at least best you could be, right? I mean,
yes.
But do you recall being generally dissatisfied, unhappy, couldn't wait to get out of here, get out of Tyler, anything like that? I mean,
no, not really, because we're just a happy family. We had a very good mother, loving and caring for us. So, and we had a lot of friends that we associated with in the community when we moved in Flint. And they would visit us, and we would go to their houses. We went to church together. We went a lot of time. Most time we was at church.
Right.
During that time, that was our outings.
Right. There weren't places to go out to eat, and at that time, there were not places that allowed Black people, in some instances, to go out to eat.
That's correct.
Right. I mean, it'd be a colored section, is what they called it.
Yeah.
If there even was one.
If there was one, that's correct. And if we could go in there.
Right.
At that time, we weren't allowed.
And I mean, for, my kids to hear that, it's mind blowing, right? For
correct.
People to think back, really, I can't even imagine how it would be if we reversed ourselves back to 65. And, it shows how bad it was and how much progress we've made.
Yeah.
Right?
We have. Yeah. I know, talking to the young people at school, they ask me, how was it in my day? They likes to know. And I tell them. And they said, really? I said, yeah, we couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. We couldn't go in a restaurant and sit and eat with anyone else. The doctor's office, we were segregated. Everywhere we went, we were segregated. We couldn't drink out of the same water fountain. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember riding the bus, at the back of the bus, going to my grandmother's house during the summer when school was out. That's where we stayed when school was out. My mother didn't have to give a babysitter somewhere to take care of us. So we ride the bus to Bullard and back on the bus. Yes, sir. And I told them the same thing was when we go into stores. We was walk behind all the time, watching what we were doing and everything.
Yeah, and so, part of that was just institutional racism, I guess you'd call it.
That's what it was.
I mean, because the institutions were enforcing it.
Yes.
Right? It wasn't just an opinion of one person versus a different person.
Mm-hmm.
But, people are always interested, if they care about people, in trying to understand what it is like to be somebody different from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, if you don't have that curiosity, then I don't think you really care about other people. And, overt racism, people that were ugly to you or things happening to you. Do you have experiences like that you recall, or were you just kind of isolated in where you went all the time?
We knew the places to go where we were accepted in our area. We stayed mostly in our groups, in our places where we go. Wherever we went, like I said, it was our friends, our connection, and we knew the place that we didn't supposed to go.
All right. And those are just, those were kind of racism norms that were probably taught to you by your parents or that, it just places kept you out. You just didn't go there.
We just didn't go. We knew we wasn't allowed to go there, so we didn't go.
And other than the places that you mentioned, that is, church has always been seen to be very important in an African American, family and growing up, right? I mean,
yes.
We hear of all of these Motown stars. Everybody, they all were singing in church, right? I mean, the preachers, Jesse Jack, all these people came up, heavily involved in the church. It's a big influence, right?
Yeah.
Now, other places that were present, though, would be the places at what's known in North Tyler as the Cut.
Yes.
You remember the Cut?
Yes, I do.
It's interesting history to go over there. Many people in the South have never traveled across Martin Luther King. Right? Gentry may be the farthest they've ever gone. I mean, but, there's some echoes of the old, Black economy, right? The Alfred Hotel.
Yes, I remember that.
I mean, they had to have a place where people were coming through that could get a room.
Yes.
And in the Cut, kind of cut through, there were Black businesses and the Wild Bunch clubhouses.
It's there now.
Right. And
we had dentist office and barbershops and different things down on the Cut, and they call a man house man. We sold hamburgers on the corner there from Liberty Baptist Church.
Do you remember other businesses, restaurants, or things that were there when you were a kid, or until they closed? I've always wanted to do a show with somebody who knew something specific about the Cut.
About the Cut, and there was ice cream shop there on the corner by the barbershop and all of that. You can go there and get ice cream and snow cone. And then and Houseman, what I was saying, he made delicious hamburgers and different kind of sandwiches. And the Cut, we go down, it was a place that we could go dance and socialize too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they had any clubs or per se.
Oh, yes, they had some clubs down there. But during that time, well, I was a little young going to those clubs at that time. I just felt, underage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they had a lot of clubs in that area that we could go to. And like you said, different singers or entertainers come. They came here all the time.
Right.
And they stayed there, Frida, what you said. And then they stayed at St. Louis at the Ebony Inn, different places where they was welcome to stay. They could go and stay.
And if people watch movies or try to learn history from movies, there was a movie several years ago called The Green Book. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but the premise was a Black entertainer that was a classically trained pianist. And there was a book called The Green Book that told the drivers for these guys where they could get a hotel. Because when they traveled, that became a very difficult thing. Like if I'm traveling through East Texas, I'm like, okay, where can I stop? Which hotel will rent me a room, right? I mean, and so I think the Green Book was the inspiration for that movie. And it's interesting, because while Black entertainers were sought after in the South for music events, country club events, things. At the same time, they weren't allowed to eat inside there, and they didn't have any place to stay.
That's right.
I mean, it was a tough existence when you think back, and again, I guess we're insulated until you almost got past the segregation, right? I mean,
almost. Yes.
And then when you went to college, of course, it was
great.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally right. I mean, it was like, did it seem like you went from one world to another world from your high school class at Emmett Scott in 1968 until your, I guess, the college world you went into later in the 2000s?
No, not really, because we was interacting all the time with white people and other races by that time.
In
yes, so
business and everywhere else.
Correct.
Now, you had kids, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I have one daughter.
Okay. And I don't know this. I would guess you probably pushed education as a big thing in some way, shape, or form for her as well.
Yes, I did. She graduated with honors from Robert E. Lee then.
Okay.
Yeah, she was very active in honor societies and other clubs and organizations there on campus, the band. And now she's director of payroll at Katy Independent School District out in the Houston area. And I have twin grandsons that recently graduated on the 9th of May from Prairie View A&M University. One had already gotten his teacher's degree, and the other one is engineer.
Yeah, Prairie View, HBCU?
Yes, it is.
Okay, people who don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
You tell them. What does it stand for?
Historic College, Black College and University.
Right. I mean, again, another institution born out of segregation.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, like these colleges grew up and this circuit grew up because their black high school graduates weren't allowed to go to certain colleges up to a certain point.
That's correct.
I mean, that's where we get the kind of the Bull Connor thing, where they were forcing the integration of, I guess, Ole Miss or Alabama, one of those colleges, and they had the National Guard there. It took that much energy to combat, I guess, the institutional racism and personal racism to register people to go to college.
Correct. Because I started out at Jarvis Christian College. And then I got married and had a baby. So then I decided to go divorced.
No, so, I mean, look, yeah. I mean, that happens, right? I mean, it's happened to me. Certainly, you live, you learn.
Yes, you do.
You hope so. That's the goal.
Yes.
You hope to learn from mistakes and instead of making the same ones over and over. I've tried. I hadn't always been successful, but I've tried.
Yes.
All right. So, I was born and raised here. So, I mean, I feel like I'm a fair historian of what I've seen and known since 1967 when I was born. And, it seemed like the city itself was somewhat segregated once I became to the age of awareness.
Yes.
Right? Like when I was a kid, and I started to, ask my mom or look around and say, there was the Gaslight Theater. People said North Tyler, City League Baseball. It was all white versus all black teams. I mean, that was my first impressions, without... obviously I hadn't contributed to how society was made up at that point, right?
Right.
But I noticed that, and I wonder, it did stay that way, and it's still that way. Not like it was, but I mean, it's still somewhat like that, is it not?
It's somewhat like that.
I mean, like you still have, North Tyler, and there's a lot of, different demographics that have moved into the city as well.
Exactly. Now, the North Tyler area, I'm a little familiar. I know about it, but I didn't live in the area.
That's right. I mean,
I just only went to school there in Emmett Scott in the North Tyler area because I was raised in Flint.
Right. I mean, and that's that's an assumption sometimes that people make. Well, you must know about North Tyler.
Yes.
Right. You're black. You must know about North Tyler. But would you say that you were the, do you recall a lot of families, black families, African American, living in Flint and out there in Gresham, or were you guys kind of the only ones, or was this a very small group?
It was a small group, of community of people at that time, but now everything has changed down there.
Oh yeah,
most of those people died and sold their property, and other people moved in, and a lot of homes have been built down in that area now.
Yeah, I mean, because Flint has really grown.
It has really grown. When we moved down there, the streets were mud. When nothing but mud dirt streets.
There were no paved streets?
And no paved streets, no.
And so, did y'all have a car?
Oh, yes. Oh, she bought a new car for us, yes.
Y'all had one car, I'm assuming.
Yes. Couldn't about drive her anyway, so we just had one car, yes.
I mean, how old were you when you finally got a driver's license?
I was 18.
Okay.
18, yeah.
They didn't teach it at school, did they, when you went to school? Like, it wasn't an elective at high school?
No.
Because it was when I was there.
Sure was.
And then they pulled it away for some reason.
Yes.
And they've made my business constantly better because nobody can drive in Tyler.
You true.
Right?
That's true. Most
people just don't seem to be able to either share the road, pay attention, right? I mean, it seems like
no.
So you've got no paved roads, and we're looking at you back then. How about electricity?
Oh, most definitely. We had electricity. But while they was building our house, we lived in a house in Bullard that didn't have electricity. She used lamps, all lamps from our grandparents down in Bullard.
What about, I mean, is air conditioning, is this a thing in 65? I mean,
no, we didn't have air conditioning.
Okay, I mean.
No, we had the window fans,
Yeah, and the window fans, were they electric? I mean.
Oh, yeah, they was electric.
Yeah. I mean, some people had attic fans back in the day.
No, we didn't have attic fan. No, she had a window fan.
All right.
Yes. Some of those box fans,
Can you imagine people today being happy and living in the circumstances that you lived in back then? Like, I mean, it'd be hard for me to say, well, hey, I'm just going to go live, under.
Well, see, when we moved to Flint, I think, we was the only house that had an indoor bathroom.
Were you happy to get out of there from the apartment complex in Tyler and Butler College?
Well, see, I was so small. I was, 6, 7 years old. So I loved it in Flint, yes, when she moved there. We had our own bedrooms, own everything. The boys had their own room. My mother had her room, big living room, dining room. And my mother was a social worker without a degree. And I'm sure that's where the reason why I'm at like I am, because she helped everybody else in the community. Yet she was a single lady with 7 kids. And she would feed, let people spend the night there that didn't have nowhere to stay. And she did that. She took people to work that didn't have cars.
I guess she just felt fortunate that she'd ended up with this money.
Exactly.
And she kind of paid it forward.
Yes, she did.
You think her work influenced you to be a social worker instead of a teacher, instead of something else?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I don't know if you just...
I just think about what I do, and I compare myself with my mother now. And I just followed in her footsteps, basically what she was doing to help people. And it's the same way I'm doing now in the community with different organizations and boards that I'm on.
You worked, when you told me about GE, it sounded a lot like the line at Train.
Yeah.
I don't know what did you build when you worked the line there at GE?
Well, at first, it was a problem, getting on at GE. We had to protest and strike and walk the picket line.
Okay.
Because, black couldn't work there.
Okay.
And then I was short. They were the height, and women's had a problem getting on at GE. But they had taken care of that before I got there, just a few years before I got there, that they started hiring short black women, just short women's period.
I think they were just using that to keep you out.
I agree.
Right. Like, if you're short, you can't get a job here. And it was kind of a non-racial thing that might have been created to kind of, carve out a bunch of people, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, what did they make? What product was being made there?
We made business air conditioning, not home air conditioning.
Okay.
It's the outside to sit on the outside of
the condenser.
The business, the big units. I did I worked on the assembly line where I used an air gun to put the louvers on the side of the air conditioner and put the Freon and all in the air conditioner. I checked the air conditions.
Where was the plant, these jobs? Where was this?
Out on Troop Highway.
Is this where Train is now?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
but it's totally been remodeled.
Right.
It's totally different. It's changed names several times also.
Right. It was
GE, American Standard, Nance Train, and I don't know what it is now.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But, there used to be Carrier.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was another place that
air conditioning.
Built air conditions. But those manufacturing jobs were good. And as you mentioned, black people had to fight to be able to even apply to get one.
Exactly.
Right? I mean.
Exactly.
And this was what year that you went to work for GE, the first year you went to work?
1972.
All right. So, this was, all this stuff's happening around 1970. That's
correct.
People are picketing, they're desegregating the schools, they're enforcing that, right? Things are kind of, I hate to say you're coming in at a good time, but you're coming in at a better time.
Yes.
Coming up than it was 10 years prior.
Exactly. Exactly.
Was that a good job? I mean, a good paying job?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Because I mean,
and good benefits. We had benefits and everything. And then we went to college for different areas that we worked in the plant because we had to learn how to use computers when they changed over to different systems.
Yeah, so I mean, they kind of trained you because the technology was training.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, there didn't used to be computers, and then later on, there was a computer.
Computers, yes.
What you've described is it's kind of been, you've had to go to school, make a living. There's not a lot of free time to be sitting around, thinking about what else can I do until you, retire?
No, I had a lot to do.
I mean,
because during that time, I was busy working with Mr. Emmett Decker in the community with the NAACP, APRI, Field Randolph Institute. And I was busy working, helping other people.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to find out, kind of what your first involvement was with something like the NAACP or any other organization, after you started working at GE. Did you get involved?
Yes.
After you got a paycheck and you had a little bit of security where you could, take care of yourself and do other things?
No.
I mean, you had money.
Yes, but I still was involved in the community because, like I said, when I met Mr. Ernest Decker, when I was with the union, IUE Local 782.
Did he
That's
work
where
there
I got
too?
a lot of my. No, he worked at Kelly Springfield.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I knew Ernest Decker.
Okay.
Right, he was. He, like you said, he was involved with the unions.
Yes.
And
NAACP.
He also was the president of the local chapter of the NAACP at one point.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I remember him, in the To Kill a Mockingbird issue coming up. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What do you think about that? That's a good, because this is unfiltered, right? And everything I ask and say is meant to be curious and inquisitive and in no way hurtful or harmful. And so when I ask this question, people say, hey, there was a great literary work. And they say, well, there's language in there and words that are hurtful beyond anything that are still there. Do you remember there was that debate over whether that book should remain in the library?
I remember that.
How do you feel about that? I mean, as far as, what the controversy was, right? It was the use of the word.
Yes.
And it was in the book as, dialogue where someone had called one of the characters that word.
Yes. I'm thinking during my school, we never did use that book.
No, I know. I just remember it later.
Later.
And
yes.
then
later is when it was it was a different one, had different opinions about it.
Right.
That's when it came out then, but we never did use the book.
And, I just remember it because there was a movie and, there was an old movie and and then it became an issue a little bit, I don't know how that became an issue, but I just wondered if, did that bother you? Did you not care? Did you see it as accurate, dialogue, although it was terrible, but it was actually reflecting what actually happened?
Yes, it was just, I figured that, I looked at it that way. It's a dialogue. This is exactly what happened. This is true. This is the story.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes do you think that it's good? Not that people say it, especially white people, but other people get to hear, at least in stories and otherwise, so that they can see how ugly and how harmful it was when it was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you whitewash it all, then people later on don't have any evidence of segregation, you not being able to go to a hotel or a bathroom or a restaurant, and it kind of passes and nobody can really judge how it was because there's no evidence left of it.
Exactly.
Your activism or your involvement with the NAACP, what motivated you, Rosie, to be involved with that group early on?
Because of the racism around here in Tyler, Texas.
Okay, and
people that weren't able to speak for themselves.
Oh, there was racism around here? I mean,
yeah, different situations going on. And I learned from Mr. Decker, though.
You learn how to mobilize support from outside.
Exactly.
Right, when there was something that local governments, schools, or other ones wouldn't move on because of their prejudice.
Prejudice, yeah.
I mean, we call it what it is, right? I mean, and so that was an early, kind of battle ram is the NAACP, which I don't think do they still call it that?
Yes, NAACP, yes. Because there was issues where things were going on. No one would say anything, so someone had to speak up and say something.
And, and I want people to think about this. If you had a job and you made a good living and you were more prominent or more fluent in African American, I mean, it'd be difficult for you to want to stand up, cause a big stir, and maybe lose your job, right? This is where the NAACP came in.
Yes.
It was helpful as an organization, a national organization, to push for change.
That's correct. And so we was taught, he always told me that if you need to stand for something. If you don't, you'll fall for anything.
Well, what kind of issues do you remember standing for early on with the NAACP? Can you remember anything, any fight y'all had, any right that you wanted?
Oh, my goodness. I know there was so many of them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. For us that are older, I mean, younger, and even younger than me, they don't have any idea what the fight was about other than just trying to get complete equality. What other
organizations? So many cases, and I can't even think of any of them now.
Well, I mean, I'm sure some of the regular, ordinary cases where somebody got fired could be racially related, and you not even think it was if you didn't know what was happening.
Exactly. Right? We had cases like that where different people was fired from their job, and it wasn't fair. It wasn't the reason because they were black.
Or
they didn't have no cases or anything. It wasn't nothing against them if they could prove that they had done wrong.
So in NAACP, is that your first kind of group to get involved with? Because it's kind of connected with the union there at GE, isn't it?
Correct.
I mean, it's all kind of working together.
Yes. And like IUE, Local 782, that was a union that represented the people in the plant from being mistreated also.
And the union at Train, at least, has never been known to really be a strong union, not near as strong as what the union was at Kelly. Am I right about that?
That's correct, but we joined together and made it stronger that way.
Okay.
We'd carry air conditioning also, and with Tyler Pike. All those with the unions, we all worked together with A. Philip Randolph Institute. That's APRI.
All right, and you mentioned that a couple of times. And A. Philip Randolph Institute was... What kind of organization was that?
He started that boycott on the railroad where the blacks was being mistreated about their health, their salary, their pay was less, and they worked in dangerous areas.
You talking about working for like
a railroad? Yeah.
Railroad companies around here and everywhere in the country?
Everywhere in the country. That's
okay.
What he stood for. And that was the prejudice and all that we dealt with the A. Philip Randolph Institution. We also do a lot of get out to vote, registering people to vote, educating the community on voting. Also, that's one big thing that we do a lot here in the community. It kind of slowed down up a little bit, but we need to start that back.
Well, and me just being the kind of, like I said, I was a history major. I've always loved history. I've always looked for patterns of why people did what they did. But I mean, you can see that the political activism, was a lot more necessary and immediate back in the early 70s, right? I mean, you could actually vote for things that would change things for the better.
Yes.
I mean, right now there's not near as many, quote, black issues that are on a ballot anywhere, right? Like, I mean,
correct.
There's a lot of freedom and things have opened up and things have changed a lot. And so it's not the same. People don't have the same motivation, I would think.
Yes.
For the get out the vote type stuff.
Yes, they don't have it. And what we like to do is start forums like different people to run for office, come and speak, and you ask questions and listen to what they're about. That's what A. Philip Randolph is all about. And he also marched with Martin Luther King also. With this, what year was that? 80? When they did the March on Washington for better jobs and better homes. That wasn't 80. That was about 80, yeah. That was the March on Washington.
Well, we talked about the Kennedy assassination. And then, of course, in the 60s, we have Dr. King's assassination, Malcolm X's assassination, Robert Kennedy's assassination.
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that was the decade of
It
assassination,
sure was.
right? I mean,
Yes.
that was 4 very influential peoples killed at different times,
Mm-hmm.
for, who knows what reasons, right?
Yeah.
But in any event, Dr. King, was that something that you and your family, because you would have been in high school?
Yeah, I was a senior in high school I remember when he was assassinated. Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
And I'm sure that might have been more demoralizing than when Kennedy was killed.
Yes, it was.
Right. Because it was someone who had elevated himself and a movement at the same time.
Yes.
And taken away the thing that the opposition was looking for, which was violence. Like, if they could get you to be violent, they could just write you off as you were violent.
Yes.
And Dr. King was nonviolent.
Nonviolent.
Right?
Correct. Yes.
That's where he and Malcolm X disagreed.
Correct.
But the truth is, Malcolm X went to Mecca and had a conversion and came back and then was at odds with the Nation of Islam. And when he was killed, he was no longer advocating, violent, quote, rebellion. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
And, they've made so many movies. There's so many interesting things about the 60s, because at the same time, there's the Vietnam War and the draft going on in the middle of all this.
Yes. We had several of my classmates and students in Emmett Scott was killed in the Vietnam War.
Well, that's what I was about to get to is, did you know anybody drafted, from people that you were growing up with that actually got drafted, had to show up and went to Vietnam?
Yes, my cousin, Charles Miller.
And did he survive?
Yes, he did.
Did he come home to talk about it at all?
Yes. And I have another classmate, Terry Henson. He went to Vietnam. He was what's it called? Purple Heart.
Purple Heart, somebody who was wounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my brother went to Germany, but during that war, but he didn't go to Vietnam.
Right, but he was. People either
he was drafted.
You had to enlist, get drafted, and then once you got drafted, they might send you to Germany, they might send you to an American base, or they might send you to Vietnam.
And they sent a lot to Vietnam.
Do you recall, Vietnam? Like Tyler is not a protesting town traditionally. No. Right?
No, not really.
Probably never was a Vietnam protest here, I can imagine. If there was,
remember one.
If there was, it'd only be a handful of people. Right?
That's right. I don't remember one.
But that made it harder. Not being a protesting town on some issues like racism, advancement for Black people that lived here, that meant things would come slower and haven't they?
Yes.
I've had friends that I grew up with, that say things are a lot different in Dallas versus Tyler, and
a lot different.
And when they say that, what do you mean? What do you think? What is it about when you say Dallas versus Tyler? What's different that this city needs to get better at or better at having going forward?
Dallas have more. What can I say? More business.
Are you saying job opportunity?
Job opportunity, yes. Dallas have more job opportunity than here in Tyler.
How about the relations between people? Do you think it's better in Dallas between all peoples, or do you think Tyler has done pretty good or doing better to catch up?
And they're doing pretty good, and they're trying to catch up. But in other areas, it's moving more forward, faster,
Yeah, some people talk about, development into North Tyler, to use the word North Tyler, right? It's been slower to develop over in the North than people would like.
Yes.
Have you,
Yes, I'm continuing hearing that at the meetings that North Tyler does need to be developed more and better than what it is.
Because there's not as much stuff over there.
There's nothing over there.
Right. And, but, I've interviewed both mayoral candidates. I've, talked to the congressman. Sometimes it's private money has to want to go somewhere, and to want to go there, they got to be able to make a profit there, right? It's a complicated thing in a way. The governments can incentivize with tax incentives, right, to go, but they can't force businesses to go certain places.
That's true too.
That's kind of the hard part about developing a city, I think, and developing it equally everywhere it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Your association with the, Juneteenth Association, when does this become, something in your mind that you want to get involved with?
That was back in the 70s, early 80s. I was affiliated with a lot of the custom truckers and other car clubs and motorcycle clubs, and that's how I got involved.
Was the holiday celebrated in the early 80s? I mean, like Juneteenth, was this a holiday? Or was this just kind of something amongst African-American people that they got together and celebrated?
No, it was something more like the African-American got together and made the big celebration, because we started out at St. Louis Park, and we got our own hot dogs, and we bought our own meat and everything,
right.
And everybody just get together out there and just celebrate at that time at St. Louis Park. We did that on Sundays, Father's Day, and with different groups would come there and sing, choirs.
Was that the kind of the beginning of the Juneteenth celebration in Tyler?
Yes, it was.
Now, it's come a long way.
Yes, it has.
Right. I mean, this is a big production every year that people don't know about. And the Juneteenth, Freedom Day, for young people or for non-historians, what is... You can explain to the people, what is June 19th? Why is it significant? And it was 1865.
It's the celebration that we are doing, and it's significant is because we are celebrating the joy of freedom. We celebrating the significance of the freeing of slaves. And we also, during this time, we want to honor our African-American ancestors that survived the unhuman institution of bondage. Because we have gone through a lot. And we still going through some, but not as much. But we have gone through a lot.
Yeah, I mean... to echo that, I mean, think about it. Abraham Lincoln, with an executive order, freed the slaves January 1, 1863, right?
Yeah.
The Emancipation Proclamation is the basis for the Juneteenth, and that is that there were many people in the South who were still operating under slavery when they had been freed.
That's correct.
And there was a Union Army commander, general somebody who went to Galveston.
Garden.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And gave what was the Emancipation Proclamation, say, hey, everybody here and everywhere else, you're free, right? You're not, they're going to have to bargain with you if you want to work for them, right? I mean, that's pretty much what happened. That's what's celebrated.
That's exactly. And at that time, see, when he made that announcement in Galveston, the people in Texas, that's 2 years later, they didn't even, 100,000 of people didn't even know they had been freed. And from what my understanding, there was one person that worked on the dock, went around yelling and hollering and spreading the word that the slaves was free.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Other than maybe, I don't know if the telegraph was around or writing a letter, there was no way to communicate with mass amounts of people into vast lands that something had changed.
Yes.
No TV.
No.
No radio.
No.
I mean, so.
They had to do it by mouth.
Right. I mean, and then it had to have authority behind it, right? I mean, somebody could run around and say, hey, everybody's free, right? But unless there was a Union general or a military person, administering some proclamation.
Yes.
Which meant the Union would come enforce it if it wasn't complied with, right? I mean, that's
right. That's when they started reading their proclamation to the people as they spread the news. That's what they was doing, and that it was the slaves had been set free.
And like you said, it was you don't have to read very much or watch anything. Terribly inhumane thing that happened. That's still hard to believe nowadays when you know people, right? I mean, like when I know you and you know me and we know a lot. I mean, it's just, you can't imagine that was a system that everybody went along with. But golly, I mean, money makes people do horrible things, right?
Yes, it does.
The system was rooted in economics.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that was
yes.
I mean, free labor.
Exactly. That's what they was doing, keeping them in Texas. They knew. I actually believe that it was known, but
You think
they
that,
wanted to keep them working that 2 years because they had cotton and stuff to pick or whatever they doing on the plantation.
yeah, because I mean, you know, Greenville, Texas, and that area, the black earth and the cotton, I mean,
Yes,
that was a big crop, right?
that's correct.
And, you know, I hate to say this, but my grandmother was from Greenville. Um, and there was a sign that said, the blackest earth and the whitest people when you drove into Greenville.
Mhm.
And I think it was a reference not only to the black earth and the cotton, but also to the racism in kind of the, hey, you know, the whitest people means, you know, no blacks in here, right?
Yes,
But, you know, there's so many stories like that, I mean, I think it all builds up to why this Juneteenth Association parade and celebration is important.
it's so important.
Right? I mean, if it just gets forgotten, like I said earlier, it seems like people will forget what was bad and why it happened and how it was.
Exactly. They forget where they came from, what they all went through during those times.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a continual thing where, hey, you know, I hate the country, and I don't even think that's what black people think. But certainly, if anybody had a reason to, African Americans would have a reason to have a beef with the country, right? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, like, I mean, that's, to me, it's obvious. And do you ever think there was a time in which, you know, amends were made with the African American community, you know, like from slavery to freed, from separate but equal to civil rights to forced segregation? I mean, did it ever seem like for you there was a time when the country tried to heal the wounds of the past?
Maybe I never did think of it that way.
Well, you know,
No.
I have thought of it myself that way, thinking, you know, I can't see a place where the government, the country kind of reached out and said, hey, you know, it was more like it was kind of forced progress, right?
Yes, it was forced.
I mean, it was kind of
Yeah.
it wasn't like this big embrace where everybody was like, yes, you know, we were mistaken, or this was terribly wrong. We should have done something else, and we're sorry. It was never about, it was always just this forced progress.
Yes.
And I wonder if you think that has led to, you know, racial tensions and things that we've seen in the past few years where people don't trust each other as much or think that, you know, reasons or you know, there's motivations for things.
I'm thinking about that. I hadn't
What I'm
looked at it
saying
that
is,
way.
and I might could ask
Yes.
it better, is do you think that the lack of really a healing process directly with African Americans has led to, you know, a less seamless integration of us all in this country?
I'm looking at where we, like I said before, we've gone through a lot and we're still going through a lot. And those things that we have gone through with, we are, like I said, we're resilient people.
Very much so.
Very so. And we've gone through a lot.
More than
But
anyone else you
still,
can think of.
we rise. That's what I'm trying. But still, we rise. So we're gonna come back. You understand what I'm saying? We know we coming back, and we use the knowledge and the education that we have learned from our teachers to keep us going, pulling us up, and we don't go back. You understand, with the education that we learn.
I understand. I mean, you're saying, look, education is the foundation to how African Americans got a fairer chance,
Yes.
right? I mean, just to even try to start from not the same place as others, but to at least get access to that education.
Education, correct.
From there, you know, hard work and, you know, sometimes hard work wouldn't be everything. I mean, right, there are racial decisions in the past that have been made in the workplace that have prevented advancement, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and the struggle and resiliency, as you mentioned, since I've witnessed it, you know, it seems to be the joy that comes out at the Juneteenth parade and festivities.
Yes, it does.
Right? It's like
Yes.
it's like something, you know, with other African Americans, that not everybody who hadn't experienced that or didn't have relatives or descendants doesn't have that same viewpoint, right? Or appreciation.
That's right. They don't know. But see, like you're saying, like I keep saying, education, because a lot of people need to be educated about where we came from and what we have gone through and what we are going through. And they need to know why we are doing what we are doing, because there are our ancestors. They have have progress, and they have made achievement, and they have done things, invented items for, in this what can I say?
They have contributed.
They have contributed to
the
society.
American, yes.
Yeah, to our nation.
Right. I mean,
yes.
I mean, even just making the show factual. There were, segregated units in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, but that reality, thankfully, is over. Now there's just these remnants of prejudice to try and overcome, right?
Exactly.
And some of it's obviously a lot more invisible and harder to see and harder to say that's what happened, right?
That's right. Because prejudice is not...
it goes both ways.
You're not born prejudiced, you're taught prejudice.
Right, that's right. Because you don't know any different.
You don't know no different. Yeah. And so the students, they don't see color when you're born, students working and talking and playing together.
Having a hard time deciding what is motivated by racial animus or racism, to me, is more and more seen in the police confrontations. Right? I mean, you'll see people hating the police, but then you'll see, African-American police officers involved in the scrape, right? And sometimes you'll see simply just white, like we did with Rodney King.
Yes.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the abuses of the past are hard to ignore. And so, do you see a time when we get over this where, Dr. King said, everybody should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't gotten there, clearly.
No, we have not.
We're trying. We are trying, and different people are trying all over the place to help push that along. But it's clear we have not gotten there, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, the Juneteenth situation, and we've got a slide up here. That was a few years ago, and for people who've never seen this parade, it is it is a sight, right? There's so many entrants into the parade. It lasts for a while, and it runs Martin Luther King, all the way down
to Wilderness Park. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Wilderness Park ends up at the park, and then there's a celebration down there. Brookshires usually gives away food.
Yes,
they have for many years. But right there, this is kind of what brought us to this show. The Juneteenth Association does a lot of things for the people. In the spirit of, resiliency and overcoming, right?
Yes.
Trying to help. One of those things is scholarships, and these are the scholarship recipients for that given year, right?
Yes. I remember all those students.
They apply to the association. You guys have people donate and whatever, and you have money, and then you award them, right? And that's kind of their handing them off for high school, going to college.
Exactly.
And then this kind of is their encouragement that, hey, they're doing a good thing. They're special. They're recognized.
Yes.
And you've been with this organization since, ground zero?
Almost, yes. About 45 years, I think.
And, can you think of anybody else in the organization that's been there longer than you?
William Hart. He's a member of one of the custom truckers. He's been there the longest.
And as far as
myself, I'm the second.
Because y'all just kind of organized something that started at St. Louis Park, where people brought their own food, and then over time, how did it evolve? Because you've been there since the 70s to now.
Yes. There, and Brooks has also assisted us with some of the food at the park too. But most of it, we did it ourselves. The different clubs and organizations will buy the food, and we serve it at the park. That's Sunday.
Is this video? Yeah, okay.
Oh, no.
Well, we can roll the video and you and I can kind of talk. Look, this is a neighborhood event, right?
Yes, it is. Yes,
it
it
runs right through what the heart of what you would call North Tyler.
North Tyler, correct.
And people come out who don't know this from all over the place with nothing but a folding chair, and they sit down with their family.
Exactly.
And in the past, people would throw candy, but they're kind of discouraged that, aren't they? I don't know why, but maybe it gets dirty.
They take the bag because maybe the kids may run out in the street.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was always worried about that because, our float that we pulled in there, I was always worried about those kids kept running out in between the float and the, but look, this looks like it's in the Cut parking lot over there.
Okay.
Lafayette, he gives away a bunch of food, doesn't he? Down there.
That's what I understand that he does.
Yeah.
I be at the park. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I've heard he does.
He does.
Give away a lot of food.
I think that's evidence of it right there. And,
Is that it? Okay, I've never seen it.
Yeah, he basically it's free food, and then here's over at the park, right? This is where you are.
Yes,
because look, I think I see you on stage. Here you come.
Wait.
Look at you in the yellow.
Oh, I am up there. Oh, yeah, I'm up there on the stage.
Tell us
there I am.
I mean, the blaze is out there, but what are you saying? There's the scholarship. There's Derek Choice.
Yes.
Right, councilman.
Yes. He's the judge now.
Yeah, he's JP.
Yeah,
now.
JP.
Right.
Yeah.
But, people eat, people congregate, people visit. It's very friendly. I've been there the last several years, and I've been at the park at different times and never felt anything other than that people were, happy for me to be there, right? I mean, I knew it wasn't my holiday, right?
Yes.
And I remember the first time I went, I had some, reservation about whether people would wonder, what was I doing there, right? I mean, but again, everybody was friendly and everybody just seemed to be most focused on, appreciation for the day and for people in the past.
Exactly. And we welcome all races. We don't care who comes.
Because, you do see other people there. I'm not trying to say I'm the only guy in there.
No.
But yeah, because nowadays there's a lot of mixed race families. There's a lot of interaction, right?
Yes, a lot. Yes.
And so, it's not just sometimes it can be, a white family can have some appreciation for what that day means.
That's correct. And we have our elected city officials, the school board, and a lot of people's coming in now participating in the parade.
Right. I mean, because, the city council, there's right. I mean, there's a representative that represents parts of or all of, all interest of the city now.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Now, that didn't always used to be the case.
No.
People don't realize that the city council, I don't think, didn't used to be to a specific area, like where the certain people in this area could elect that person, right? I mean, I think that changed over time.
That changed in all the district areas come in and participate.
Well, and, I hate to say it's funny, but I mean, Petra Hawkins is my council person.
Okay.
I know her.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, that's how much Tyler has changed over time, right? I mean, if I had a problem, I'm going to Petra Hawkins. Hey, I need some help,
Exactly. That's your council person.
Shirley ran for mayor.
Yes.
And, that's a tough road to hoe with South Tyler and the numbers, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, especially with the city and the county and the kind of got a business program commercial, they're trying to develop downtown, if you will, right?
Yes, I've noticed that. I looked at that Sunday, I was downtown.
And you need a lot of cooperation politically in order to pull stuff off like that involve the city and the county. That is the square, right?
Mm-hmm.
But overall, do you think that it'll be good for North Tyler, the more development there is at the square and north of the square?
Yes, it would.
I mean, eventually, it doesn't seem like it could hurt to me.
No.
But, other organizations, before we kind of circle back to the Juneteenth Association, are there any other groups that you're involved with or have been, just trying to foster, Black advancement, and help in the community?
Yes, I am member of the AAA, That's the area on agency that's working with senior citizens.
Yeah, that's older
with
people.
housing and work with food bank.
I thought that was if your car broke down. AAA? Is that?
No, area on agency, that AAA. Oh. Yeah, that's what that is. No, not that. And we work with the Go Bus for senior citizens. All this, we work with seniors, repairing their home to those who can't afford it.
What is the Go Bus? I've seen that.
The Go Bus is the one that takes senior citizen to their doctor's appointments, or maybe to Walmart or to the pharmacy to get their medication.
Is that a city thing, or is it a?
It's a Smith County thing.
Okay,
I'm over the Smith County area. It's the Smith County. There's Cherokee. There's 14 counties, I believe.
Now, what's your position with the Smith County stuff? That'd be for that bus travels outside the city limits, or what?
Yes, it'll go outside the city limit, correct. It goes in Smith County area. Then Cherokee will pick up their area down there in Cherokee. See, Gregg County has its area.
But how do people, there's not a bus route. Is this something you schedule for it to come get?
You schedule, yeah, through your doctor or social worker. Someone will inform you about the Go Bus.
Do you sit on a board or something? How are you in charge of Smith?
I'm on the board there.
For Smith County?
For Smith County, yes. And we teach about mental health and other things that for senior citizens.
What? Just
they're living, going into nursing homes and all of that. We're in charge of all of that. We look over that too.
What, just to educate people on what you can do, like what's available, those type of things?
Yes, that's exactly what we do. And we have workshops and that people can attend that we announce at different churches, and we explain the things that we do that we have available for seniors and people with disabilities.
Now, just like the slide says, this year's Juneteenth parade is coming June 20th.
Yes, it is.
9 a.m. is usually the start time, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And if you try to drive down there, it's tough sledding after about 8:30 with the police. And,
correct.
Right, except for you always, let me going behind the barricade.
Yes, you need to be there around between 8 and 8:30.
But the parade itself is usually
at 9. Start at 9.
Is it usually just the first Saturday after June the 19th? Is that how it normally?
Yes, it's usually that third weekend, whatever they call it, that third weekend. It's the Saturday before Father's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it always seems to kind of fall
on Father.
But never, it doesn't have to be on the 19th.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
And unfortunately, the holiday is on the weekend, so nobody gets a day off from work.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
That wasn't planned well.
No, this time.
Yeah.
Well, June 19th is the 19th.
Yes.
That's on a Friday.
Right, but
the parade is going to be on the 20th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People,
yeah.
But they want people to be able to go to the parade, so that's why they put it on Saturday.
Exactly. And we have people come from all over the United States to participate in our parade. But Galveston is the largest parade in Texas, and I think we're the second.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
Galveston,
the origin of the Emancipation Proclamation itself should be the largest remembrance of the parade, with a parade, right?
Yes.
But I did notice how I'd often talk to people who were from Shreveport, from Dallas.
Yeah.
They were down here and they were acting like what we had here was a bigger deal than what they had.
Exactly. They come to ours every year from Oklahoma, Louisiana, and like you said, from Dallas, Fort Worth area, and where is that? Tennessee. We have people coming from all around the state.
I guess it's
all over
just
different states.
The Texas thing is that
it's a Texas thing.
I mean, the parade, the Juneteenth holiday, it's really kind of a Texas thing.
Yeah, it is. Really, it is.
And I guess because we were the furthest away, Galveston, Texas, a long way away from Washington D.C.
Correct.
Back in 1865.
Yes.
But yeah, that's that's interesting that Tyler is carrying on a legacy here that may not always exist at other places in Texas in the future.
Exactly. And
it sounds like that, you've always been involved with these causes that, try to preserve and promote, Black heritage, Black history. Is that intentional on your part?
Yes. The area, the to celebrate with the black.
Yeah, just to kind of remind people, what some people have been through, which is a lot worse than anything someone at the present moment would have ever experienced.
Exactly. Because I know the students, when I be talking to them in school about it, they just can't believe that happened.
Yeah,
they say here in Tyler, Texas, no ma'am.
No way that could have been there.
No, they cannot believe it. They can't believe it because they have never lived it.
And that bleeds into all other issues, which makes us, poverty breeds sometimes crime, sometimes drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Not always true, but I mean, you see these things, and then law enforcement can target what they believe to be areas of crime, and that can lead to higher incidents of incarceration. I mean, and the black community could continue to suffer because they are, incarcerated at higher rates.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
And, we can't just ignore the facts because we want to get along. We have to talk about them, I think, to see whether the policies make sense, like, private institutions, prison institutions that are incentivized to fill them up. I mean, is that the best policy? I don't know if it is, right?
That's right.
I mean, have you had family members or anybody that's, been to prison, or that you have any experience with the criminal justice system here locally throughout your life?
No. I'm thinking who?
I mean, some people have had bad experiences is what I'm getting at. Some people
I understand what you're saying, but let me think. No, not right now.
I mean, law enforcement is way more, responsive to African-American concerns than, say, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
When you say, or even 40 years ago, because, like the police department in Tyler seems to get, and North Tyler and the entire city seems to get along pretty well compared to other places. I mean, do you feel that way?
They seem to get along pretty good.
I mean,
yeah.
Is there anything that you can think of that, something you wish was changed or something that was done differently?
I never have just been involved with the police.
Well, you just hadn't had a problem?
Problem.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you should have one.
I'm thinking one, but I'm thinking
I mean, you've had a wonderful life. Every time I look up, you're over at Flint, living a good life out there. You're always happy.
Actually, I did.
I mean, you're the wrong guy to talk to. I mean, if you're trying to find out, the history of the struggle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but the struggle was and is real.
It is real.
Right.
Yes, it is real.
It's just one of those things that's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly because there's less institutional racism that you can see.
That's right. I guess just because in those days it was just a way of life, way of living.
It was accepted.
And so it was accepted, correct.
Right.
So we didn't, that's what we accepted then.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of excitement around the city in general about the development of the city. And I wonder if that, that feeling, for people outside developing the city is there. Do people have a positive outlook about, Tyler and living in Tyler? People you're around, people you talk to.
Some do have negatives. Yeah, of course they do.
Right. I mean,
they have negative opinion about what goes on here in Tyler, Texas. Even with some of the officers, police officers.
Do you think
their
it's
treatment?
Older
yes.
people, or do you think that that's people that have had those experiences in the past that were especially?
It's those people that had those experience in the past. So that's the reason why they know the experience. They know the system. They know what's going on within the system.
It's hard to forget and forgive, some things, right? I mean,
that's correct. Now I know I've had relatives or cousins, someone, but I don't know their cases when they were with the, with law enforcement.
I mean, if you don't keep the Juneteenth Association parade and message up there, I'm not sure the young people are going to carry it forward unless they get involved, are they?
That's correct. You're correct. They don't know or they don't care. They just think it's a day of fun. They don't realize yet that is a celebration of what our ancestors have gone through and what they have done to make this day from them being in bondage,
Do you think that's true of all Americans and holidays, that the further we get from them, our memory fades? I mean,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying? You talk
I
about
know exactly what you're saying.
You talk about veterans that sacrificed their life in World War II, and people, the further they get, they don't really have a connection with sacrifice,
with it.
right?
My dad was in the military also. I forgot that. He was also in the military.
I just think people's disconnection with sacrifice leads to these holidays kind of, losing their steam over time.
Yes. If we don't continue this on, it would die out. If no younger people don't come aboard and learn and read and find out what it's all about, what has happened in the past with our ancestors, why we are doing what we are doing today, why we are celebrating.
Do you ever think there's a time where we grow close enough together, everybody, where nobody really cares to reflect on the Juneteenth proclamation? I mean, do you ever think it gets to that, or do you always think there'll be a place for thinking and remembering?
Like I said, the only way I think is we have to continue to educate the young people that's coming behind us.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's important that at least the African-American community always remember that this happened, we had this holiday here because of that?
Yes, I'm sure if someone would keep it going, someone would continue to teach the younger generation why we're doing that. Yeah, and what happened.
But this latest generation or two, they're really,
right.
there doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of prejudice or racism amongst that group.
No, it's
right?
not.
And so consequently, they're not thinking about the Juneteenth history like you are, right?
Right, that's correct.
And so it gets to my question. Do you think that we could have a few more generations where people were so integrated and they had no prejudice that, people just didn't even think about holidays that brought up things that were a past gone era that were not pretty?
I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean,
but
Dr. King that was kind of his message, wasn't it? It was like, where everybody be judged by the content of their character. That's kind of the first suggestion as to what we see this most recent generation playing out, where there seems to be no prejudice in that generation.
Exactly. You're correct. So what you're looking at is that it's a possibility that Juneteenth will soon just start fading away gradually.
That's what I want. I wonder if you think that, I think it's fair to suggest that the most racism may be in the older populations of today.
Yes.
I mean, you might agree or not agree with that. And the least amount is in the youngest generation.
Oh, that's true.
And so in the oldest generation of African Americans would be the biggest and the most memory of the injustices and the prejudice, right?
That's correct.
And so unless you keep this organization, I'm wondering, 4 generations from now, Juneteenth is something that's a memory that nobody ever recalls because it's not a part of life anymore.
I believe what you're saying. I agree.
And
it has to be someone to instill in this younger generation. But if it doesn't happen, it will fade away.
Do you think there's ever a time when we're so together that there's no need for or no reason to look back? Like there's been so many generations of people getting along, living together, no prejudice. Do you ever think it gets to that?
That's a good question. I think I don't know what year that would be in, but it might eventually get to there. The way they're connecting, the way they are connected the students, the people are doing now. They don't care anything. It seems like they don't pay that colors no attention anymore.
Right. I mean, it doesn't. It seems like color is not a factor in the young generation, right?
No, it's not.
Any decision.
No, it's not.
It doesn't matter who you're dating, or it is not a. It's not a barrier.
It's not right.
The barriers are economic oftentimes, right?
Right.
When you
That's
look
correct.
outside and look around the U.S., you see pockets of people that live together that are poor, right?
Yes.
And I don't know what that looks like, Rosie, going forward. I don't know if it gets worse, as time goes on, as far as economics and what we're going to see in the future. But
that is something to think about. It's.
I mean, most people don't think about the future as much as maybe I kind of just think about like what could be, what is going to be.
But see, the way I'm looking at this generation now, I believe it will just fade away.
I mean, people used to talk about things like race riots, right? I mean, like, hey, there's going to be a race riot in the future.
Yes.
But I mean, with the way I see that as less likely every day that passes. Do you?
I see it less likely.
That would be a basis for me to go to war with somebody or hate them would be their race, because it seems to. Now, that doesn't mean everything's been fair and everything's been righted, but it seems like the relations between people is going in the right direction.
It is. It does. Yes, it does.
And then so government or national policy, if they want things to change from education or some other standpoint, that's going to have to be from the government. The people are doing all they can do.
Yes.
Right? I mean.
Yes, we are.
If you've seen a lot of change in Tyler. I mean, if you were the mayor, if you were in charge, if you had anything, is there anything you think you would do that you feel like would be good and positive for African Americans in Smith County that needs to be done? Is there anything on your mind?
I hadn't even thought about that. Let's see.
Well, Shirley had it on her mind, right? Shirley was running.
I know yeah.
I wonder what she thought, because I haven't talked to her, about if she was elected mayor, what would Shirley have done? What agenda would she have pursued in order to try to impact her city and people that she was a part of in the best way?
I know one area she talked about a lot was the North Tyler area.
Right, I've heard that too.
Construction and doing that over in North Tyler area. And I think did she talk business?
I mean, I think the best she could.
The best she could. But like you said, that a person has to want to bring their business in that area. But
unless, and for them to want to come in, sometimes tax abatements, that is, having businesses agree to locate somewhere and not having to pay a certain amount of taxes for a while is one way the city has done that in other parts of the city.
Yeah.
And the young people seem to be the key to this whole thing, Rosie. If we've got another 40 years of the Juneteenth Association and the parade, it's going to have to take some younger volunteers, I would think.
It will, definitely, it will.
Is anybody involved in it right now that's, say, under 30 or under 40?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's all the old timers.
Oh, exactly.
Is it because y'all won't turn loose and y'all are control freaks, or what is it?
No, that's not it. It seems like they're not interested in it, the younger people, to come on board to work. Well, I think the youngest person may be on there, maybe 30, 35, 30, 35, something like that.
Well, I know you're looking forward to another year because you stay involved, and I thought you were getting off the committee, but you didn't.
That's off the mic discussion.
Well, anybody who's listened to this, I've tried to, pull out, a Black and African American perspective in addition to the parade and the celebration itself. And I think you've been a good person to talk to. Lifelong person in Tyler, right?
Thank you.
And you've assisted people through your work in organizations from, the NAACP to the current Juneteenth Association. So, Rosie, I look forward to seeing you on the 20th. And I appreciate you being on the show and letting everybody have this perspective. Thank you.
You're welcome. The statement that you just made reminded me of 2005, I was honored as one of the Women's in Tower, a woman who inspired. When you said that made you think about what I've been honored for already.
Well, I'm not surprised given what we've talked about today.
Yes. And I would just like to say that the people that we invite everyone out to the celebration, and please leave it with the celebration of Juneteenth with the 3 Ps. We celebrate with pride, with a purpose, and with power.
Well, thank you, Rosie. That's
You're
a good way
welcome.
to end.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.